to Planettrailerpark, the experience of a lifetime.
Hello everyone out there, constituents, slaves, prostitutes, journeymen, peasants, geniuses, dumbasses, the downtrodden, the rich, who else is there?
Well, there's always the working class like me, but, we fall under the category of slaves.
The grunts, the uninitiated.
The military, the police.
We are Planettrailerpark. We gather, discuss, and sling knowledge. We sling it like we're on the corner slinging it.
What little knowledge we have.
I am Leatherface.
I'm Dr. D.
Again, like I said before, this is Planettrailerpark. Tonight, I don't know. We could talk about anything in the fucking world we want to. You can't tell us what to do. You're not our fucking mama. But at any rate, we'll be respectful. I'm sorry. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Do we want to talk about history? There's things behind the scenes we've been talking about. I don't know. Should we talk about history? Should we talk about politics of today? I mean, there's so much shit we could talk about. The weather's all fucked up now. Tornadoes are fucking hitting shit. Tsunamis, earthquakes are going down.
I'm worried about the millennials, though.
Why?
The millennials can beat me at any video game out there.
Yes.
The millennials can show me how to do anything in the world on a computer, but I try to show one of them how to clean a squirrel and they don't have a clue. I try to teach them how to hunt. They're noisy. They want to be on their phone instead.
But isn't that
a sign of the times?
No, well maybe that, yeah that. But isn't that what technology is here for?
Technology is here to replace us.
Not only just to replace us, but to remove us ever further away from the cusp of the visceral, violent world with which we came from. Hunting, killing. Of course we do kill. It's more about killing now than it ever was before. But it's more about the masses not seeing it. It's more about your food coming in a box, in shapes, where you don't even know what the fuck it is. Isn't that what that's the direction we're making this go, this whole thing, this whole life, this whole world, this dimension we're in, this dimensionality, our dimensionality. Isn't that what we're forcing them to do that? Isn't that what we're doing to them? We're doing that to them.
We're trying to teach them that for what we believe to be, what most people believe to be, a better world. But I can tell you what's happened in my workplace. Mm-hmm. We started out with over 300 people at my particular mill, and now we're down to, say, 150.
Yeah. Because
the machines have replaced us. And what happened to those men that were replaced? I don't know. I don't know how they're making a living now.
Something else.
It replaced them.
But that's the monster we've created.
Yes. The technology we've created has taken on a life of its own. And if it ever reaches the point of self-awareness, it will realize immediately that we, the people, are the worst thing that ever happened to this planet and should be removed. Just like the movies say.
Terminator. There's going to be a buff fucking naked robot running around blasting people. Saracama.
The Matrix.
Scenario like that. Matrix.
We could already be asleep now and not know it.
We could be in the Matrix right now.
I recently heard on the radio while driving in my car that the technology of the Matrix is now possible.
Well, and some scientists would even say maybe this whole reality is a hologram.
It's conceivable. in the eyes of God, we're told that this earth is just a test, just a vision, just a dream, and that one day we'll wake up and be where we're supposed to be.
But if we die and we're in the dirt, then what?
Well, it's a question for you. I have a definite answer. I know my answer. I know my beliefs. But for a lot of people, it's a question, and it's a serious question. And whatever you believe, it's going to be based on, did you live a good life?
Well, like take for example, Scientologists. You and I were discussing that earlier. Scientology is the most ridiculous fucking religion I've ever seen in my life. And people are eating it the fuck up by the millions of dollars and giving their life up for it. And not only now, this isn't a new religion. This is from the 50s, or maybe, yeah, late 50s, 60s, and 70s. This religion has been fucking flourishing. And you saw what the fuck it's about. It's about fucking aliens dropping people in fucking volcanoes and blowing them up with fucking early 50s hydrogen bombs and then flying around in 50s looking fucking planes.
And it's my understanding that this occurred 76 trillion years ago. Well, think about this, people. How old is the sun? How old is the earth? How did this happen 76 trillion years ago when we hadn't even yet been created in a supernova? Think, people.
Or, not even an or, but what if the planet is like that old? The only reason I say that is the way we measure time is very small compared to the universal scale, cosmic scale.
Wormholes come into question.
We don't know that planets last that fucking long. Who the fuck knows? Who knows how long we've been here? They don't fucking know. They can carbon date all they want, but you know what? Carbon dating is really fucking inaccurate.
That's true.
It's a golf ball in the dark a lot of the times.
That's true. That's true.
So who knows how old this fucking planet is? You know, I mean, who knows? The recorded history is what, that?
Yes.
They're finding cities under the fucking ocean all the time, and all these other things of advanced civilizations that we didn't know were fucking there before. So who knows how many times time has rolled over and things have rolled over.
That falls into my earlier topic of civilization reaching a pinnacle and then being destroyed. Cavemen came out and then started all over again, and then it happened again. The further they dig down into the soil, the more they discover. As far as I know, no one even knows how old the Sphinx is. But striations have been found in the Sphinx. Where those striations had to be caused by erosion from rain. And the last time we know of that there was that much rain in that area was over 100,000 years ago.
That shit, that's something you have to think about too, and I think I'm going to get back to that Scientology shit in a minute, but they wonder how the fucking pyramids were built, how the fucking Sphinx was built, how'd they get all this shit, how'd they get the wood around there? This shit wasn't built in a fucking desert.
Right.
This shit was built in a fucking forest. It was probably a fucking forest around the son of a bitch when they built it, just like Mayans, just like Incans, Aztecs, all that shit.
Which would
had all those
date it all
resources.
to 100,000 years or greater.
Yeah, they had all that shit back then.
We're thinking they're 5,000, 6,000 years old.
Yes.
But no, it's got to be much older than that. The quarries for the rocks are like 300 miles away.
Yes.
I mean, that's not an exact accurate type thing, but that's general knowledge that I have. It's the quarries were hundreds of miles away, and they had to carry those stones that far. I mean, that's a bit much for a pharaoh.
I think it was all right there.
You think it was taken from there?
I don't know about the rock. I don't know because I think they've actually, they found quarries. And shit.
They have found quarries.
But as far as the lumber and all that kind of shit, I think that was right there.
Yeah. And if it was, that dates it to 100,000 years or more.
One of you may be able to tell us this shit. I don't know.
Call in.
There you
Talk
go.
to us.
There you go. Get on your touch-tone phone on your landline and call us in, assholes. But Scientology.
Scientology. Laughable.
Well, who am I? Okay, let me be the asshole. Let me be the prick here. Let me be the dickhead, the party pooper. How is Scientology any more incredulous in its story than Christianity or Buddhism or Satanism or fucking botulism, anything, anyism? How is it any more ridiculous that we can mock it than Jesus flying around fucking making shit happen and there's a God, or Buddha fucking attaining fucking perfection and his fat ass floating around fucking enlightening everyone, or Satan running around with his hoof fucking feet and his horns, invisible everywhere, fucking causing fucking people to butt fuck and goddamn snort cocaine off of people's dicks and fucking rob gas stations and fucking have sex with people they don't even know and fucking ride motorcycles too fast and fucking break dance and fucking rob liquor stores.
Well, the miracles performed by Jesus, like for instance, raising Lazarus from the dead. Okay, well, that sounds incredulous. But a moth, actually a caterpillar, has been discovered in the Arctic who dies every year, freezes solid. A frog also who dies, freezes solid. And then when the thaw comes around, they resurrect. So resurrection from the dead is not just a mythical thing, it's scientific fact. And I believe that with genes from those creatures placed inside a human could be the answer to cryogenics and deep space travel. So that's not that far fetched.
So the Scientologists, the answer to their crazy ass question is at hand. If there is alien life out there,
I believe there is alien life out there.
we can jump around.
I
What do you think about
said before there were many mansions in my father's house. And to me that means there's more than one earth.
So you would say even in the Bible, it does say, hey, there's probably more shit out there.
That's one interpretation, yes. That's my personal interpretation.
But then
a lot of people would argue with
But then
me,
does that
but,
win?
That's what it says.
But then does the Christian religious person say, because that's in the Bible, that your bet then is that it's going to be a also religious planet? I mean, it would be formed in him. If everything's in his fucking image, it's going to be human-like creature. It's not going to be the big-headed, great fucking aliens with black eyes. Everything's pretty much humanoid.
Well, our life is carbon-based. We're carbon and many other minerals, but primarily water.
And
On another planet,
they might have
life
evolved from a
might
different
be-
set of.
yes, life might be silicon-based or helium-based or anything. They could be so different from us we don't even recognize them as life. But they know our God.
Is that what you're thinking? Is they will? They will come here to this planet and be religious.
Some. I mean, there are people here on Earth that the Christians are the minority. Most people don't believe in anything at all, as far as I can tell.
They believe in life. They believe in going to work. They believe in collecting paychecks. They believe in fucking, shitting, eating, and what is right in front of them.
They believe fun is what is right.
Because in most of our lives, this is considered a shitty existence, and the few bits of fun that people are entitled to are coveted.
Yes.
Yes. Distractions.
Yes. Distractions from the humdrum and the pain.
And can that? How far does that extend? Does that extend into? What would a religious man from 400 years ago, fucking friar motherfucker, religious as fuck, think of the way we spend our lives now? Somebody sits around playing video games for 8 hours a day.
He would think we were wasting time.
Or we sit around and watch TV every night. People go to work and they go and watch TV. They go to work and they go and watch TV. I mean,
There's a saying that idle hands are the devil's playground.
yeah. So in your opinion, is this an evil? Where we're at now, is this an evil existence? Is it predominantly evil? I would say it is.
If I were God, I would have laid waste to this planet a long time ago.
Why hasn't he?
Well, I'm not God. He's giving us the opportunity to come around.
Why hasn't Xenu? If Xenu, and actually that's true. If Xenu was even fucking real, the way they even described Xenu would have done bombed this fucking place because Xenu wasn't into fucking lame shit either. Xenu wasn't into monkey business. That's why he threw all those fucking assholes in the fucking volcano. So I would think he would have came back now in its shiny galactic fucking intergalactic super playboy ship, and he would have done fucking laser us all to death. He would have done fucking bam, neutron us.
Well, if Xenu was so far advanced, why did he use a hydrogen bomb?
I thought that I fucking quit because
To him,
L. Ron Hubbard.
To him, that would be like a bow and arrow.
Because L. Ron Hubbard's stupid ass was from the 50s, and that's as far as his imagination could fucking go.
Right. All of that is based on his imagination. Now, Tom Cruise, John Travolta.
They fucking believe it!
I have great respect for your acting ability, but you're not saving the world.
Tom Cruise is saving the world single-handedly. You can ask any Scientologist right now. They'll stab you in the fucking neck if you even question it.
They're welcome to try, but I'm a highly trained individual. And
They can pass through solid matter.
doing
They can
it.
pass through solid matter. That doesn't matter. Don't even worry about
Well,
that.
I'm waiting
You're
to see
dead.
that.
You're dead. You're dead.
I'm waiting to see
They'll
that.
drop you in a fucking volcano and blow you up with a hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
But, at any rate, is that not weird, though? That Tom Cruise is pretty fucking old. I think he's in his 60s. And he's in his 60s.
He's
Late
somewhere
50s, late
somewhere
50s.
close.
Late 50s. Travolta is in his motherfucking 60s.
Yeah.
You know that. These guys aren't from an archaic time,
Right.
and they're rich, so they have all the technology at their fingertips that even we don't.
Oh, well, you struck the word there, rich.
But they still believe this shit.
I don't know.
They
if
still believe
it
this
or
shit.
not. It sounds
Then
like
what the fuck is it?
It sounds like a pyramid scheme to me. It sounds like a religion that's based on money, based on making money for the religion. And I don't know who's in control of that money, and I don't know what they do with it. But I know all these people that are involved have to spend a great deal of money just to pass through the religion.
And you're saying that the Xenu part of it has just been stamped on as a vehicle for the true agenda.
Well, I understand very little of it. It's a very secretive religion. But the stories I've heard, for instance, watch the South Park episode that refers to it. And it gives you a pretty good overview of what's going on there. And as you listen to them, you start to see that it's beyond insane. It's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
But all the fucking plot holes. They don't tell you where Xenu's from, or where he's the fucking leader of, or where his captains are from, or where they're fucking how they got here. I mean, there's all these plot holes. What the fuck's going on? Or why Xenu has a fucking shiny mustache. He has a fucking 1840s, I want to curl my mustache up shit. I mean, they should have pictures of him.
Now, I'm not going to deny flat out that it's a religion because one of the commandments, as I said earlier,
Yes.
is thou shalt have no other gods before me.
I don't think they call it a religion. I don't think they call them. They might.
They don't even call it a religion.
I think they call it a science. They call it a science. I think
A
technology, a self-help technology, a program. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I don't know how they talk when they're amongst each other, butt fucking each other and having orgies and thinking about food. I don't know.
Well, I can assure you the only spirit or whatever that lives within me is the spirit of Jesus.
And they have ships. L. Ron Hubbard has giant, like fucking cruise line sized ships out in the ocean where people are just living. And thinking that they're fucking aliens and waiting for Xenu to fucking come back.
Yeah, that reminds me of the guy, I forgot his name, the white-haired guy who had everyone kill themselves because the comet was coming.
Oh yeah, he had them all drink the
And,
Kool-Aid.
and yeah, they were all
I
going
can't
to
remember
join
the
the
story.
comet.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I
Was it
forgot
David
his
something?
name. I forgot his name.
You can tell me. Don't
Yeah,
be shy.
but there's been plenty of religions like that and thoughts like that where people took their lives over it. And I mean, that's way far out there for me. That's if it wasn't so sad, it would be comical.
That's true. That's true.
But it is sad. It's sad for the families that were left behind.
A lot of these are
All
whole
they were left
families.
with were questions.
A lot of these, as far as Scientologists though, a lot of these are whole fucking families.
Mhm.
And these are older people too. And I mean, I'm old African Americans, old white people, people you would look at and go, how the fuck did they get talked into being Scientologists?
Yes.
Are people that pathetic?
Well, people are searching for answers.
People have bought into.
They want to know where they came from. They want to know what their purpose is. Everyone has a drive to know their purpose.
Are the masses, are 75% of the people on this fucking planet sheep? Bon Jovi, New Coke, Air Jordans. I can go on and on. Van Hagar. I can go on and on about the shit people have bought into.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Most people are sheep and they'll follow the shepherd.
Like you can, even if you turn on a radio and listen to most of the fucking prevalent music out right now, it's fucking most people in this world are fucking sheep, goddammit. You are fucking sheep. Stop it. Stop being sheep.
Use your own mind. Think. Think. Not
It's not
just
gonna
think,
happen.
but feel.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to
And
fucking
if it
happen,
doesn't
Dr.
feel right, it's
not
not right.
It's not going to happen. That's why this world is going to go down in a fucking handbasket. Because there are intelligent people on the fringes. But the mass, what is the mass? What's the mass? Sheep!
Sheep.
Sheeples!
Sheeples.
So it's not going to happen.
Good term. Sheeples.
It's
Very
not going to
good
happen.
term.
It's not going to happen.
No, even the Bible says that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Bible thumper. I just know a lot of quotes from the Bible and I believe in it. And I do throw it out there quite a bit. But I'm capable of having conversations that are totally non-religious. It's just that religion often plays into the questions that come up. Sheeples is just a wonderful term.
In this
I
modern
like
time.
that. But that's what it is. People are looking for a reason. They're looking for why all of this is happening. They're looking for what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to stand for?
This is still a time where people could be killed by tsunamis.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. D, how is that happening? You know where all the smart people were? They fucking left. They left. The people that were killed stood there and watched it come. I'm just saying, that's the mentality of most of the people on this planet.
Yeah,
I think.
but they want to see what's coming. They don't use their own minds to think what's coming. They just want to see what's coming.
So in this, and I don't have any faith that one day some idiot, I mean, there's not going to be a nuclear bomb dropped on somebody one day or some dumb shit, because they're only eggs. So I just don't doubt that somebody would pull some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. We've had this discussion. I don't think it's going to happen just as far as, like, the North Korean situation. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think that's all a big bluff game.
Well, I still think that needs to happen. The world needs to see that these rules and regulations that we put in place, like the Non-Proliferation Act, which says specifically that North Korea can't create nuclear weapons. And Iran can't create nuclear weapons.
Why isn't Tom Cruise doing something about this?
If Tom Cruise is holding the world together, then he should be doing something about it.
He's holding it together. I don't.
He should go with me in the
That's not
parachute
sarcasm.
to take out Kim Jong-un.
That is not fucking sarcasm. He is holding the world together with his films and his psychic powers.
Now in Top Gun, he did save the world. Yes.
He had the need for speed in that movie.
Yes.
It wasn't really his fault. But Tom Cruise, the man. Now that you watch his movies, I want you to know that the man behind that motherfucking character in that movie thinks that he can move shit with his fucking mind. And they think that they can fucking travel through fucking the universe and out of body shit too.
Telekinesis is something that has been demonstrated and recreated in scientific.
On the movie Ghostbusters.
Well, not just in movies, but in real life. However, there are so few people that can do it, and it can't be done on demand. It's something that just happens. I've had dreams when I was a child, just innocuous little things, nothing major.
Yes.
Later on in life, I saw it take place right in front of my very eyes. And I was able to, for instance, tell some of my friends what was in a drawer before they opened the drawer. Because I'd had a dream years in the past about that drawer.
Yeah. Wow. It's possible. I mean, again, there's all those theories about the pituitary gland in the mind and all that kind of shit.
We use very little of our mind, and we're capable of a whole lot more.
But even that is a theory in a lot of ways. That's theoretical.
It's theoretical, but it's coming to be seen. I believe that the future holds quite a bit for us, and it will be amazing.
Do you think on an evolution, do you mean on evolutionary scales, to whereas we're gonna become more than we are?
Yes, I do.
And that is that even from a physical standpoint? Like I said, evolution from an evolutionary standpoint. Things in our brains, our brain is going to continue to evolve and become more complex.
Well, as the problems become more complex, the solutions have to become more complex. And we encounter things in our daily lives that require more than our physical being. And yeah, I think that will draw out more of our brain.
And does evolution not, when evolution is looking at a species, does it not look at the thing that that species uses the most and then capitalizes on that?
Right.
So.
Right. And we're becoming more of a technological society, which means we're becoming more of a society of the mind.
And to keep going full circle then, where does religion, as far as, where does religion stand in all that? Is it gonna fall away? Because that's what a lot of people are saying. You know, it's gonna fall. Religion, the more technology does come to the forefront, does religion have to look? Can there be a balance, or does religion have to look archaic? Does it have to look like people living in huts in a fucking archaic, dark time where they didn't really know what was going on in the world about it?
Well, anytime we look at the stars, we look at them with wonder. And that wonder is natural. To seek, to think, to believe, to wish, to wonder. It's all natural within us. And it's because there is something there. Something that we can't yet see. But eventually we will.
Do you think out there, do you mean waiting for us for, as far as exploration, like there's something out there waiting for us?
Mm-hmm. I think the Earth is like a baby's cradle. And as we went to the moon, those were our first steps outside of the cradle. And as we go further, it's when we learn to walk and walk to school.
And you know, if you read about what the astronauts say about like the times that they say we've been on the moon, half the astronauts that fucking went up there said they saw shit.
Yes.
And
And
Buzz Aldrin,
they're now,
before he died, fucking swore.
they're now not afraid. They were under orders to not tell
That's what he
us
said.
a damn thing.
But he said he saw fucking things waiting on the rim of a fucking crater and watching.
And NASA is trying to explain that away as things that were just off in the distance reflecting light that
Then why haven't we gone
astronauts
back?
didn't
Then why-
understand.
Then why haven't we gone back?
There have been so many secret missions, far more secret missions than public.
Yeah, but the Chinese and the Chinese practically on the moon now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they practically fucking own it. So, it seems like we shied away from even going there. I wonder if, maybe there's just not that much to discover about the fucking moon. I don't
Well,
know.
that's what they said, that there wasn't anything there. There's no point in going back. Our focus should be farther than that,
But
like mining asteroids.
the kid in me wants to believe that they did see something up there.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is an entity out there watching us
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't want us to go fucking past our Earth. They don't want us to go past the moon.
Well, I'm sure.
Why? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want us
Well,
to?
like in
Because we'll bring our nuclear bombs and our trash.
in Star Trek, one time I heard them say something that caught my interest.
Yeah.
It said in some species, human thought is considered to be a disease, and I can see
I
that.
can see that.
I can see that as being a reality.
They trash,
for
destroy,
advanced beings.
take over.
Yes, we're violent by nature, and
Not only that, but any environment that a human goes into
we leave trash.
to live, well, they don't ingratiate themselves into it.
They dominate it,
They dominate it, and they
adapt it.
here's what's kind of weird too. Here's like how a crazy person says fucking we were made by aliens and shit or whatever. Here's another point that how we're so far away from even Darwinism. We're far away from everything. We're twisted. We're whatever we are. But what other animal goes into an environment to a point and destroys it and makes it their own? I guess ants. I guess to a point ants.
They change
totally
their
destroys it.
environment.
Totally fucking destroys it. We have to have pavement and concrete.
Mhm.
And a couple little trees stuck out of concrete. I mean, what is it in us that's making us do that?
Well, I saw a sign on the road one time that said "End Construction," and I thought about that, and I thought, what a wonderful thought. End construction. Live, adapt, learn from the cultures of the past, like the Native Americans.
True, but it's easy for us to say that. But if we were in a world like that right now, you and I would most likely be fucking dead. If we were alive, they would think it's witchcraft because we'd be so fucking old. And think about every little wound you have ever had that you thought, hey, that would have killed me if I wouldn't went to the doctor. You would be fucking limping, one-legged, one fucking eyed, no teeth. Your hand would be fucking like this from polio.
Well, that
I'd be the same.
depends on your knowledge of botany. Every medicine we have has come from either plants
True.
or animals.
That's true. But
I see your point. I understand what you're saying.
technology is making us live longer, I think. It may not be technology. Who knows what the fuck it is?
I
Who knows what it
just
is?
think the technology is advancing faster than we can handle. We're advancing farther and faster with our
We shouldn't be where
knowledge
we're at right now.
than we should be with our
Every country
mental
shouldn't have
ability
nuclear
to
fucking
handle.
bombs. Every
No.
country shouldn't have a special ops team of military men at their beck and call. Every
No,
country shouldn't
I
have
don't
air to
trust
surface
any of them.
missiles.
I don't trust any of them. I can't trust them to not push the button.
And there's some scary countries with nuclear bombs. Pakistan,
Yes, Pakistan.
India. And you know what? India is actually one of the more technologically advanced of all of them. They're the only ones that have a true EMP weapon. The only ones
India and Pakistan are mortal enemies,
They're-
and they could be the ones that started World War III.
And the nuclear bombs we have now aren't like they were in Hiroshima.
Right.
That one bomb now will take out most of Arkansas.
Oh yes.
There's thousands.
The Soviets had a 50 megaton
The Tsar
warhead.
bomb. That's the Tsar bomb. They blew it up one time on like an island, like fucking 40 miles off.
Mm.
But when they blew that bomb up, they said they panicked because the heat was so intense, 40 miles off, that it was like right there. They fucking panicked. And the pilot that was flying the plane that dropped the bomb, it was over the plane was almost fucking destroyed.
Mhm.
And they said it was, it got like, it almost had touched space, like the fucking explosion.
Right, we're messing with things that we're not prepared for.
But here's what's kind of bugging me about all this, and why has it stopped if it's still not going on? If there was that much, if we harvested that much power in one explosion, why isn't everything we have right now powered by nuclear power?
Nuclear power is a wonderful thing.
But it's not as prevalent. It's not prevalent like it is. It's not prevalent like I would think it would be. It's really not. Because we're discussing other fucking ways to fucking power our world. Like fucking solar power, wind power, not anything other than gas and coal and oil.
Well, they've
Why are
discovered
they going away
now.
from it? Why?
They've discovered now that pyramids, for instance, are simply generators, and that obelisks were a way to harness
Of some
that
kind of-
energy.
Some kind of energy that we don't know what it is yet. Ionic, something, who knows?
But it's based on Tesla's idea. But Edison's idea employed more people and brought in more money. And Tesla's idea would have provided just about free energy for the entire world.
Forever. Because it would have ran off the fucking atmosphere, dude.
And we've discovered that that's what the Egyptians were doing. They were creating free energy.
The Baghdad battery.
Yes. Yes, we've discovered that electricity has been around a lot longer than we thought. And the idea of free energy for everybody, think about what you could do with that extra money if you didn't have an electric bill. I mean, you could make your kids' lives a whole lot better. You could buy more weapons to defend yourself with.
We have to have these things now. I think psychologically, we have to have these things. Make everything free. See what the fuck happens in this fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go insane.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have jobs to pay for bills, and we have to have bills to fucking give us ourselves goals. Well, the massive sheep that go to work and they go home and watch TV will have nothing to fucking do. They're not going to be out in the world fucking making beautiful goddamn creations. That ain't going to be happening.
Well, we don't know because we've never had that opportunity. We've always been the slaves.
That's true.
And we serve the 1% of the 1%. That's who we serve.
That's how it's always been.
It's not how it's always been, but it's how it is now. It's like that Monopoly game I mentioned earlier. When one person owns all the properties, the game is over. But rather than the game being over, we're still just praying to land on free parking.
That's how it's always going to be.
That's how the 1% wants to keep it.
And with that, that's how you motherfuckers are. You always want to land on free parking. We're going to end with that, you fucking assholes. And this has been a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, you can fuck off. We don't care. Don't come back. Just don't come
Peace,
back.
love, joy, goodwill. May the force be with you.